What's up guys, this is Ghost. Today I'm going to be going over the crossbow and its effectiveness within the game. We're also going to be looking at some assignments, the best ways to unlock them, and we're going to be covering playstyles with the crossbow. So first of all, to use this weapon you're going to need the Aftermath DLC, which you can get either by simply having premium or you can download it separately. So you can equip this weapon with any class. There are two different forms of it. There's the XBOW that you start off with, which has the Cobra sight, and then there's one which you can unlock via an assignment, which has the 7x scope on it. On top of that, there are several assignments you can do to unlock various types of dart for the weapon. There are 4 types. There's the standard bolt, which you start off with. Then you have the high explosive bolt, which is really designed for taking out vehicles and tanks. Then you have the scan bolt, which effectively acts as a tug or an MAV for a split second, scans the area where the dart lands, and will give you a reading on where your enemies are. And then finally the balance bolt, which is basically a more aerodynamic and more balanced version of the standard bolt. So it seems that most people expected that the ammo types for the crossbow would be selected in the loadouts before you spawn into the game, as it is with shotgun ammo or grenade launcher ammo. However, with the crossbow, you have all 4 ammo types available to you at all times within the game, and you can change those by pressing the V key as default on PC. It's basically going to be the same button you use to change your fire mode on your rifle. One thing to have in mind though is it does take a short while to change ammo types, so just make sure you don't get caught off guard. So to unlock the zoomed in version of the crossbow with the 7x scope on it, you're going to need to complete the assignment called Go Play Close Quarters, which is actually exactly what I did. You needed a total of 150 meters headshots with sniper rifles, with carbines, and with assault rifles. So the easiest way I found to do this was exactly as the assignment told me to do, go and play close quarters. The sniper rifle I used was the SKS, but any semi-automatic is probably the easiest way. Now before we get onto the various dart types, I'm going to give you my 2 cents on whether the regular crossbow or the scope crossbow is better. You can use all the dart types with each kind, so the only difference is one is more longer range. And I will say hands down that I've had a lot more luck with the regular crossbow. The 7x sight on this weapon, it just takes up so much of your screen, and unless you're already playing as a sniper, I really just don't see much use for the weapon. And even if you are already recon, why would you want to use the crossbow anyway when you can simply have a sniper rifle equipped? So, moving on to covering the dart types, the first dart type you're going to start out with is the standard bolt, and this doesn't require any sort of assignment to unlock. This should not be underestimated. The standard bolt is extremely effective, although it has a ridiculous drop-off. If you can imagine sniping somebody at around 800 meters and imagine the amount of bullet drop, well, this is about the amount of drop that the standard bolt has at say 100 meters. Now this thing will one-shot people in the head or the chest, and I think if you hit them in the arm or the leg, it still does around 80 to 90 damage. So it's extremely potent and a great weapon in close quarters. Oftentimes I've come up against somebody with an assault rifle, had my crossbow out, and I've managed to kill them before they kill me, even though they weren't sprinting and they were firing from the hip. So the second ammo type is the explosive bolt. To unlock this you need to complete the assignment A Good Demo Man, and for that you need 5 kills with hand grenades, 5 kills with underslung grenades, and 5 kills with C4. And if you click on the annotation you can go to one of my videos where I covered some of the older assignments and, in my opinion, the best ways to do those. Now I really didn't find this thing effective at all. It's capable of disabling a jeep, but strange thing is, even after that I found that it took 3 or 4 more bolts just to destroy the actual vehicle. So I don't really understand how that works, that 1 bolt can disable it, but then it takes 3 or 4 more to actually destroy it. But don't ask me. I've had 0 disables on tanks. I think this thing does around 10% damage to a tank, so it's extremely ineffective against heavy armor. But yeah, when it comes to scout helicopters and the jeeps, yeah, it's fairly effective. Furthermore, the drop-off of this dart is even more so than the standard bolt, so not only is it rather ineffective against enemy armor, but it's quite difficult to use. The splash damage is extremely small, so you can forget using this against infantry. You'll find the standard bolt much more effective. So next up we've got Scan Bolt. This one's pretty easy to unlock. You need to complete the assignment It Is Okay to Thank Me. For that you need 20 spot assists, 10 designate vehicles, and get 1 designated assist. I found the easiest way to simply jump onto armoured kill and go in tank superiority. I just jump in the recon class and lay down my SOFLAM. So what this thing does is it effectively acts similar to the tugs or the MAV, only instead of continuously pulsing and showing you the enemy position, it will just be one single pulse that you'll see on the radar, and it will show you where the enemies are, which direction they're facing, etc. This thing does do a minimal amount of damage, around 10, so you can actually kill people with it, although I really wouldn't recommend that. I haven't had a whole lot of usage for this thing. It is nice, you can, you know, put it on the outside of a building and you'll see anybody who's inside. And really in close quarters maps I found the most usage for it, you know. You can just scan up ahead and see where enemies are. But in the larger maps, you're going to have difficulties even seeing the blip because the map is so goddamn huge. It can be quite effective on a game mode like Rush perhaps, where you know there's a lot of enemies around the objective, and if you throw your scan boat over there, it's definitely going to get some hits and help out your team a little bit, but I really wouldn't say it's better than the tugs or the MAV, not by far. So finally we have the balance bolt. This is unlocked by the assignment Stay Away From My Tent. You need 50 sniper rifle kills and 10 headshots with a sidearm. Not too difficult at all. Really the main difference between this bolt and the standard bolt is that the balance bolt has a faster velocity, meaning it will reach your target much quicker, and it also has a lot less bullet drop, so that's really handy. On the downside, however, it does less damage. Unless you hit the enemy in the head, it will not be a one-shot kill, or they're already damaged, of course. So it's nice to have the added accuracy, but it really reduces your killing potential with the crossbow. So we've gone over the different types of dart you can unlock and the 2 different varieties of the crossbow. So now let's talk about what this actually brings to the game and what kind of class combinations you can create with this. So we know the crossbow can be used by any class, but is it really viable for all the classes? In my opinion, it only really works for support and for the recon classes, and I'll tell you why I think that is. If you look at the engineer class, the only reason people usually pick to be engineer over assault is because they want to use the RPG and they want to be able to take out enemy armor. And the crossbow takes up your 3rd slot, so it's gonna mean you can't use the RPG or the Stinger or what have you. So I really don't think anybody playing the engineer class is going to take the crossbow over the RPG. And similarly for the assault class, you know, considering the killing potential of assault rifles at range, I don't think the crossbow is really going to bring much to the table for this class, especially when you consider that you're going to have to sacrifice your medkit for this weapon. However, while it saddens me that I haven't been able to make a niche for all 4 of the classes with the crossbow there, I found a lot of use for it as support. You know, on those maps, probably close quarters, where there's no enemy armor to take down, I usually sacrifice my C4 or claymores for this thing, and I would much rather have the crossbow than those 2 weapons. It's really handy when you're flanking around the enemy, and you see 3 or 4 guys, and you're able to take maybe 1 or 2 of them down silently, before you even open fire with your LMG. And that's the great thing about the crossbow, is that it's always silent. No matter what dart type you're using, you're completely silent the whole time. So another thing I've been experimenting with has been as the recon class, using the crossbow in conjunction with the silenced SKS. I found this really effective on rush maps, especially when in defense, you know. It's a completely silenced setup, so it's a lot of fun taking guys down and they have absolutely no idea where the hell you are. Now, I can say hands down that the most effective bolt types I've used have been the standard bolt and the balance bolt. I'm kind of bummed out that DICE didn't show a little bit more love for the high explosive or the scan bolt. Haven't really found much of a effective use for those 2. However, with that said, I really like what they've done with the other 2 bolt types. The standard bolt is great in close quarters. I often run around with this thing equipped, just in case I run into anybody head on. The balance bolt is really great from a distance, especially if you're aiming for the head and your primary weapon is maybe not particularly ranged. And on top of that, as this thing is completely silenced, it makes for a great flanking tool. Anyway guys, please let me know in the comments below what you think. Have you been using the crossbow? Do you find it effective, or are you not really feeling it? And if so, what kind of setups are you using it in? Anyway guys, this is probably going to be my last video now before Christmas. It's been quite a while, but you know, Christmas preparations and all that stuff. I'm sure you guys are under the same pressure as I am. So I hope you guys have a great Christmas, and I will see you guys hopefully before the new year for my next video. So take it easy. Bye bye.